Shape Web Designs Radio. I'm your host, Robert Winnicott, owner of Shape Web Designs and hosting out of Grand Haven, Michigan. This segment today is, beware, they are scams. This is something that has been on my mind for quite some time now, and it's only because of what's actually going on in our world today. There are scams out there, people. When you're out there surfing the internet, and if you're an owner of a business or something like that, and you're out there looking for great deals, a lot of people will look. You got eBay, you got Craigslist, and you got especially dating sites and stuff like that. And I feel that this segment should kind of hit home for you guys. And what I'm going to say about this is one of the things that really bothers me is I see this all the time. This is really, to be honest with you, this is nothing new. This stuff's been going on for quite some time, and there's scams that are played every day. And maybe I might not be able to reach out to everybody out here, but I can tell you this, that if you're going to be listening to this radio show today, I want you to think about a few things, okay? If you're out there and you're trying to find a good deal, and you go to Craigslist, and or eBay or something like that, you got to protect yourself and use your freaking mind, people. I mean, seriously, you got to use your mind. You can't think outside the box, because you have to be very aware that there are scams, and people will go out of their way to scam you. Okay, I want to first one of the things, I just had a friend not too long ago. He wanted to go buy some concert tickets for a concert here in Michigan. And so the tickets were kind of expensive, and so someone had told him, hey, look on Craigslist or something like that, or go to eBay or someone might have cheaper tickets. Well, what he did is he went to Craigslist. He found some tickets. They were possibly in the ballpark area of $50 cheaper than he would have paid if he went to the box office. And so he found this deal, and the guy who was selling the tickets lived out in New York, and supposedly was a really nice guy. They talked a while. They got to know each other just a little while on the phone. And so, my friend says, it's a good deal. I'm gonna do it. And so the seller, the guy who's out of New York, says to him, well, here's how you do it. Okay, you're going to go down, you go MoneyGram, or you go to Western Union, you can get a wire transfer. Now, MoneyGram and Western Union, well, first off, either one will get a wire transfer to the person. So my friend, he went down with MoneyGram, for what he told me, and he wired the money to the guy. Well, he says, as soon as I get the money, within an hour, you'll have your tickets. Well, my friend waited. An hour passed. He called the guy, and the guy's like, oh, yeah, my wife's not back from Walmart yet. As soon as she gets back, I'll get the tickets to you. And, of course, my friend waits another half hour. He's getting impatient. So then he calls up and, tries to call the guy, and the guy won't answer his phone, won't respond to text messages or anything like that. So, of course, my friend, he's getting kind of worried. And sooner or later, I think he gets the realization that this guy possibly scammed him. And so, to make it even worse, my friend calls me up and he says, hey, this is what happened. I told him immediately, dude, you just been scammed. And, these things happen, okay? And I know this other guy, okay, who he was going on a business in his store, and he was selling all his products, and so he put all of his products on eBay. And so he became the seller. So this guy come along, he comes supposedly out of Chicago, comes along with a pickup truck, and then, buys over $4,000 worth of product and writes this guy a check. Well, of course, the guy takes the check, they shake hands, nothing wrong, goes and tries to cash check, and it's a bad check. They can't even trace, he didn't write down the license plate number of the truck, didn't get the guy's driver's license or anything. He just assumed that the guy was so nice that there was no problem. Well, guess what, people? I just want to elaborate something first. If you go online, first off, let's go with the guy with concert tickets. His first red flag would be this. If the guy's in New York, why would he be buying tickets in Michigan? Would be the first red flag, okay? It doesn't make sense, all right? It doesn't matter what the guy could say, well, I bought tickets for my sister. We had a death in the family. This is why we're trying to sell the tickets. Well, first off, the crap couldn't get any deeper, all right? That would have been your first red flag, all right? Second red flag is sending money through MoneyGram or Western Union, okay? And that right there is if you send money through those two channels, you are not secured with your money, okay? And here's what's going to happen. They're going to cash check your SOL, man. You're not going to get your money back. You have, it's like, I remember my friend, he was so pissed, man. He was going to go out there and he was going to get, hunt the guy down and beat his butt in and do all this other stuff. He was willing to spend a couple $100 to go all the way to New York to try to find this guy. And it's like, why are you doing this? I called the police. They're going to get the license plate. I go, you know what? This happens every single day. People get scammed. And you just got scammed. You're never going to see your money. And then he says, well, I've talked to cops, and if they arrest, I go, look, dude, let's put this into perspective for you. Even if they find a person and you sue the person, you're going to spend more money than $500 going after this person. Yeah, if he goes to jail, he goes to jail, but you're still out your $500 or $450, whatever you paid for the tickets. If you get scammed online through Craigslist, it's your own fault. There's other ways of doing it, okay? Best way to do it, here it is. You can use PayPal, but most of the time what they're going to say is they don't have a PayPal account, blah, blah, blah. And the reason they do that is because they know, that PayPal will get the money back. And that's one of the great things about PayPal, is PayPal will fight for you, but be known, you only have 45 days from the time the purchase happens to file any kind of getting your money back. All right. Then PayPal will go into their account, take their money back, and then basically they're in debt, and you'll get your money back one way or the other. You can dispute it, and within so many days, the money will come back to you. If you don't get your product, they'll back you up. The best way to do it is through an escrow company. Okay, and how it works is you basically you set up an account, and you have it's like you set up this one thing, and you say, let's say my friend's with a ticket. He says there's $450 in this escrow. The seller on the other end will have to register, and have to register through that website, and they have to put all their information, their address, and everything like that. They have to also use other forms of identification that's totally secure. And what it does is then that money goes into, you put $450 into the escrow. As soon as you get your tickets, you got the tickets in your hand, okay? Now, here's the cool part about having an escrow system. Once you put the money in there, okay, you can't scam another person and get the money out, okay? The escrow company will hold that money until the transaction's been complete, okay? If you, say you put the money into an escrow, and say you don't get your product, or you didn't get the services that you wanted, okay, basically what you can do is the system's set up to be a fair system, and it's actually the only way that I would actually go. And, as soon as you finish the job, let's say he got his tickets, then all he has to go is log in, release the money. It's a done deal. The seller gets his money on the other end, and there's no hard feelings. But if, like, say, the seller doesn't get, say the seller does not send you, let's say, send him the tickets, then the money just sits there from the buyer. And until he releases that money, until he's 100% happy, okay, then, that's it. Now, here's the deal. A lot of those guys, they'll say, oh, no, I don't want to do that. I don't have I don't have an ID or something like that. Again, these are red flags. If they don't want to do stuff legitly and securely, that means it's a scam. I can tell you that right now. Unless you're willing to take, like, if it's like something like a $2, $3, $5 deal or something, you just want to take. It's like, I guess, playing the lotto. If you want to look at anything, I'd say anything over $100. You can get an escrow account, and it's easy to do it. There's many companies out there that offer escrow services, and that's the way you should do it. It protects you. Okay, so if you're on Craigslist, now Craigslist to me is one of the biggest scam magnets around, and it's not only products and services and all this other stuff, but I'm going to tell you something else, man. You really have to watch your butt out there on Craigslist, eBay, and other places like that. Play it smart, people. If something don't sound right, it's probably not going to be right. Protect yourself. Instead of giving money out, put it in escrow. It only takes a few minutes more time, and you save yourself being scammed. All right. If you don't get your service or your product, you're not gonna get it. Plain and simple. The person will not get your money, and it's protected. You're protected, and that's the beauty of it. Okay. Now, another scam that's going out there, and I'm going to be talking to, let's talk to these guys out there who are between the ages, let's say, 40 and 55, all right? Let's say you're in a marriage, and your marriage goes to hell, and you end up in a divorce, and all this other stuff. Well, one of the first things you want, okay, is you want to have a new person in your life. So you go to these dating sites, and all of a sudden you start to get hit on by these young, attractive-looking girls. And let's just say I'm just going to give you a scenario, and you find this girl, and she's really pretty, and let's just say she lives in Russia, okay, in Ukraine or something like that. And you strike up a conversation with her, and all of a sudden you guys start talking. She's telling you about herself, and then all of a sudden she's like, I really like you. I want to be with you. I want to do all this other stuff. And you're in your mind, you're sitting there going, hey, yeah, oh my God, look at this girl. And then she starts to send you pictures with her with no clothes on and all this other stuff. And boy, I tell you what, you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe that this girl likes me, and you're at this point where you just come out of a long marriage, or you're going through your middle aged, and you think, God, what it would be like to have this young girl on your arm. Oh wow, it'd be great. Then she goes into the story. Well, I just don't have the money, to come to the United States. I want to be with you. I love you, and all this other stuff. And you know what? By this time, if you've fallen for this, you're dumber than I thought, okay? Because the thing about it is, let's just make it perfectly clear, all right? First off, let's just say hypothetically, the girl's young, okay? Let's just say the girl's 27, 28 years old. And you're having a conversation with her, and even if you're lying about your age, whatever the case may be, let's just say that for, sake of argument here, all right? And then she starts talking to you about how she wants to be with you, and then you start thinking with other areas that you shouldn't be thinking of, okay? And the thing about it is this. The story is going to be this. She's going to go, She's gonna tell you how much it's gonna cost for an airfare. She's gonna tell you how much it costs to get her passport. How much is it gonna cost to get her out of the country? Okay, and she's gonna come up with all this stuff, and she's gonna say, oh, her dad doesn't have the money, or her dad, doesn't give her any money. She's living on the street, or she's living in a home, or she's, whatever the case may be. She's gonna make you feel so crappy. But she wants to be with you. She loves you. You want everything to do. And you're just sitting there being a total dumbass. Okay? Because here's what's going to happen. You're gonna say, I can bring you to the United States. I've got the money. I'll get the money. And you know what? And you're going to go either borrow the money, or you're going to use your savings or whatever. And you're gonna be racking up between, like, say, $2,000 and $5,000 to get this girl to come to the United States. And then she's gonna say, well, okay, you got to send the money to Western Union to this address here. I'll pick up the money. I'll go get my plane. I'll get everything taken care of. Now all this might transpire over a month or two. And in your mind, you're thinking, God, it's been a month or two. There's no way it could be a scam. Look at this girl. She talks to me, and we've talked to each other on Skype. We've done everything. We talked on the phone with each other, and all this stuff. Okay? And in your mind, you're sitting there going, oh, man, she's going to be here soon. And so you start, buying new clothes for yourself, because, when she comes here, you want to look your best, right? So anyway, you end up going down to Western Union. You put the money on there. You have it shipped to her. And in your mind, you're thinking, oh, God, she's going to be here. And then the day that she's supposed to get on the plane, she writes you in the morning. She's like, oh, thank you for the money. I got I got this, I got that. And all of a sudden, when she gets to the airport, something goes wrong. She can't leave the country because her country won't allow her to leave the country because of security reasons. Or the plane's been delayed. Or she needs to have a boarding money that she didn't get before, and she didn't realize that she needed to pay a boarding fee. Or she had to pay a parking fee or a landing fee. This is all scam, people. You just been scammed. And then you're going to say, well, okay, well, then, we'll figure out something. And if you haven't figured out by now, you've just been scammed, you're a real dumbass. That's how I'm going to say it. I don't care what anybody says about this radio thing. You're a total dumbass. Okay? Here it is. First off, you've just been scammed. Think about this. Why would any 27-year-old, 28-year-old want to be with a middle-aged guy? Someone who looks like her. The pictures that she sent you, she's darn near model quality. Why would she do that? See, what you don't understand is they can get to the United States if they had the money. Yes, they could. Let's just say you do get one here. What's the chances that she's going to stick around with you? Not at all. She's going to have opportunities and young guys, and she's got the world as her oyster, and you just financed her to come here. Or you're not going to see her at all. Most likely you're not going to see her at all. This happens in the Ukraine. It happens in China. It happens in the Middle East. It happens in Nigeria. Nigerian scams are the biggest one. If anything comes out of Nigeria, it's a scam. Plain and simple. God, I've seen so many dumbass guys come with this. Yeah, they show me pictures, or they'll say, yeah, look at this girl. Yeah, look how great she is. Ooh, she's really super hot. Blah, 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 blah. You know what? Holy hell, dude. I mean, seriously? Come on. Let's be right about this. All right, you've just been scammed. People want you to send them money because they're broke. Scams. Okay, it happens every single day. People are scammed on the internet. Protect yourself. Now, see, let's just say hypothetically. Now, let's just say you do meet a person who's over in Ukraine. You do strike up a conversation. buy the ticket yourself, because then you can get a refund on the ticket. Okay? You can buy a ticket in the United States. She's going to say, oh, you can't buy it in the United States. That's a lie. If she needs to have her passport, first off, she should already have her passport in other countries like that. If there's a fee that she has to pay, you call the embassy, United States Embassy, you get in touch with them, and you tell them what's going on. Normally, they'll help you. If they don't help you, they'll tell you, don't be a fool. It's not going to happen. The best way to do this, if you're serious about this, okay, go get her. Get on a plane, meet her at the airport, and bring her back with you. Guaranteed that she's not going to be there when you get there, or it's not going to be the girl who you've been talking to. These scams happen, people. You need to be aware of these scams, okay? The internet is filled with scams all over. You need to be very, very cautious in everything you do. Cautious what you download. Cautious who you talk to. Caution everywhere. People will scam you all the time. All right? You might get in a relationship with somebody. You might have stuff to sell, and people will even steal the stuff that you're selling. Play it smart. If you're going to sell something, okay, or you're going to sell something to somebody, don't accept a check or a money order or anything like that. You want cash. Cash only. That's it. If they don't want to do cash, move on. Sell it to somebody else who has cash. Cash can't go wrong. Okay? If someone's asking to send them money for something that they're going to do, if they're going to come to the United States, or they're going to sell you something, put it in an escrow account. These are the things that's going to protect you. Okay? And these are the things that you should know about all the time. All right? If you can protect yourself on the internet and use smart judgment, okay? Look at, guys, this goes for everybody out there. There are more people that are scammers than you can imagine. They come from Facebook. You can be scammed through Facebook. You can be scammed through Google+. You can be scammed through Craigslist, eBay. Use your head. Don't give your money away. Here's my rule. If someone asks for Western Union, they're not getting it. If someone asks for MoneyGram, they're not getting it. Plain and simple. Not from me. All right? And that's just the way it is. Plain and simple. And one other thing, okay? I want you guys to think about this, okay? You're out there. You're lonely, okay? Go look for girls your own age in the United States, all right? Someone who's in your own city or within the United States. Let's just say that. Do your due diligence and find out if this person is who they say they are, because scams take place in the United States as well. They're all over the place, and there's no way we can stop it from happening. There's always going to be people who are scamming people, plain and simple. So use your best judgment, use your head, and everything will be cool. Don't set yourself up for failure. And that's one of the things that I've seen on Craigslist. Like my friend who bought the tickets, the other guy who literally sold, his inventory. These people got screwed over. I have actually 2 friends who just did the mail order deal. I sat there and told them they're scams, and you know what? They still didn't listen to me. You know why didn't they listen to me? Because they were so frickin' on it. And let me put something into perspective about that. It's usually middle-aged guys who are looking for that young little sweetie to be on their arm. Those are the ones that get scammed. They're so easy. You're that easy. You're that easy. I mean, seriously, guys. Okay? That stuff only happens in the movies where you get the cute little frickin' young girl. Unless you got a buttload of money, you can get any girl in the United States to like you. All you have to do is go down to your local strip bar and stuff like that, and you can find. You want to be a sugar daddy? Go right ahead, be a sugar daddy. But I got a guarantee for you, you're not going to find anybody in Russia, in any other country, without serious, time. All right? Usually these scams can run about a month. And these girls have maybe 10, 15, 20 guys that they're talking to. It's what they do. That's how they make money. That's how they make a living. It's a scam. They take your money, and you ain't going to get your money back. That's because you're sending it through Western Union, and you're doing all this other stuff. Think about it. Think about it next time when you're out there and you're doing your thing, and you want to go. I'm not going to say that Craigslist is a bad thing. It has its pros and cons. More so, it's the biggest scam magnet in the world. Craigslist is. You just gotta use best judgment. And these mail order brides, guys, come on, man. Use your head. Use the head above your shoulders and not the head below your shoulders. All right? I'm sorry I have to say it that way. But it goes for girls, too. Women get scammed just as easily as guys. They want the same thing. They want that little hottie or whatever it is, That's all it is. So, here it is in a nutshell. Things will happen over time. Things will take place. And you will, get by. You don't, just if you use caution, you're not going to, it's just like my friend with the tickets. He was, he's upset, and he has a right to be upset. And I don't really blame him for not being upset. Okay, I'd be pissed too. But it's his own fault. He fell for a scam. He ain't going to get his money back. All right? Even if they caught the people, he's still not going to get his money back. And he's going to spend more than the money that he put out on the tickets. Here's the bad part. He spent, $450 to save $100. And he lost $450 and didn't save nothing, and they're not going to the concert. The other friend lost close to $4,500 worth of tools and stuff like that because he got scammed. He didn't think straight. Okay, here it is. One more time before I head out of here, okay? And this is just something I want you guys to take to the bank. All right? Here it is. If you're going to be out there, okay, and you're going to be doing business in the internet world, protect yourself. Put money in escrow companies. They're great ways to protect yourself. Don't send money Western Union. Don't do it through MoneyGram to other third world countries. Okay? No matter how much they tell you, it's a scam. It is a scam. If they say, "Oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have an ID, I don't this, I don't that," all that stuff is just a scam. And people on Facebook, you get people asking for donations. You got to be safe there too. Make sure it's through PayPal. Don't send cash for donations. Don't send through money orders, MoneyGram, Western Union, because the money's not going to get there. A lot of people say, "I hate PayPal." I that's the one thing I don't understand is why you idiots hate PayPal. PayPal to me is pretty secure. I've never had any real bad problems. And follow the rules and you'll protect yourself. All right. Well, I want to thank you again for listening to Shape Web Designs Radio here on this Sunday morning. And I want to wish everybody a great day. And if you're looking to have a website built, go to www.shapewebdesigns.com. Like us on Facebook. And we'll check you guys out later. Have a good day. You're listening to GHTR, Nationwide Podcast Radio, www.ghtalkradio.com.